The Golden State Warriors are entering the 2025-26 NBA season with a mix of ambition, urgency, and quiet confidence. A team that once dominated the league with flair and precision now faces the test of time. Stephen Curry, Draymond Green, and Jimmy Butler headline a roster that's been through every possible championship war, but the story this year feels different. It's about survival, about extending greatness one more season, and maybe, about adding one more Warrior to the mix. For months, the Warriors' offseason was frozen in silence. Everything hinged on one thing: Jonathan Kuminga's contract saga. The young forward, a symbol of the franchise's future, entered restricted free agency with no clear path forward. Negotiations dragged on as other teams moved swiftly, and for the first time in years, Golden State looked stuck. Without clarity on Kuminga, no deals could be finalized, no upgrades could be made. But then came October, and the breakthrough the Bay had been waiting for. The Warriors and Kuminga reached a new 2-year deal, officially ending the standoff that had paralyzed their summer. Instantly, the franchise shifted gears. The front office went from waiting to working. Within days, Golden State signed Al Horford, adding veteran leadership and defensive intelligence to their frontcourt. They reunited the Curry brothers, bringing in Seth Curry to add shooting depth and family chemistry. Soon after came D'Anthony Melton, a versatile two-way guard, and the return of Gary Payton II, the relentless defender who helped define the Warriors' identity in 2022. Suddenly, the roster felt deep again, layered with experience, shooting, and defense. The message was clear: the Warriors weren't ready to fade quietly into the background. They were reloading for one last serious run. And then, just as things seemed to settle, the rumors started. Reports surfaced that the Warriors were among the betting favorites to sign Russell Westbrook, the 36-year-old former MVP who had just completed a strong season with the Denver Nuggets. Few would have predicted it. After all, this was Russell Westbrook, one of the fiercest competitors and longtime rivals of Stephen Curry. The man who had stared him down in playoffs, matched him triple-double for triple-double, and once symbolized everything opposite of the Warriors' elegant style of play. But beneath the surface, the idea made sense. Last season, Westbrook proved he could still produce at a high level, averaging 13.3 points, 4.9 rebounds, 6.1 assists, and 1.4 steals per game, while shooting efficiently for a veteran guard. He had embraced his role off the bench in Denver, showing leadership and energy that could stabilize any second unit. For a Warriors team lacking a true backup point guard, the fit looked intriguing. Steph Curry, now 37, can't play 38 minutes a night forever. Chris Paul was gone. The team needed someone who could control tempo, push the pace, and create offense when Curry sat. And Westbrook, for all his polarizing style, still brought unmatched intensity and competitiveness. Sportsbooks reflected the growing buzz. According to BetUS, the Warriors had the fourth best odds, plus 300, to sign Westbrook, behind the Kings, Rockets, and Mavericks. The Knicks were fifth. For fans, it sparked imagination and debate. What would it look like to see Westbrook in a Warriors uniform? Imagine this: Curry rests. The Chase Center crowd buzzes as Westbrook checks in. He drives coast to coast, draws defenders, kicks it out to Seth Curry in the corner, splash. On the next play, he finds Kuminga cutting baseline for a dunk. The rhythm changes. The bench ignites. The Warriors' second unit, once a weakness, suddenly becomes a weapon. There's risk, of course. Westbrook's game thrives on pace, power, and control, qualities that sometimes clash with Golden State's motion-heavy, pass-first offense. But under Steve Kerr's system, players like Westbrook could rediscover balance. The Warriors don't need him to be an MVP. They need him to be a spark, a veteran floor general capable of keeping energy high and the tempo fast when the starters rest. Around the league, opinions were split. Some analysts argued that Westbrook's passion and leadership would bring fresh fire to an aging locker room. Others warned that adding such a dominant personality to an already complex dynamic could disrupt chemistry. Yet, no one could deny that if there was any team capable of maximizing unique talents, it was the Golden State Warriors. The question wasn't just whether Westbrook would join them. It was what the move would symbolize. For the Warriors, signing Westbrook wouldn't simply be about filling a roster spot. It would be a statement that even with their championship core aging, they refuse to stop competing. It would show that they're still willing to evolve, to adapt, to take risks in pursuit of greatness. For Westbrook, it would be redemption. A chance to chase a ring alongside the very players who once stood in his way. A chance to rewrite the ending of a legendary career. As the season draws near, Westbrook remains ensigned, watching from the sidelines as the league reshapes itself again. But if the Warriors struggle to find consistency early, or if Curry needs more rest, the door could swing open. And when that happens, Golden State might just make the call. Because for all their history, all their banners, and all their glory, the Warriors have never stopped believing in one thing, that every season is another chance to prove the dynasty isn't done yet. And if that belief ever aligns with Russell Westbrook's hunger to win, the league better be ready. Portland, Oregon, the chill of October mixed with the electric hum of preseason basketball. The crowd inside Moda Center was small but restless, waiting for glimpses of what could define the season ahead. The Golden State Warriors, a dynasty searching for renewal, faced the Portland Trail Blazers in a game that would somehow mean more than its preseason label suggested. Jonathan Kuminga stepped onto the floor with a different aura. Gone was the quiet, uncertain young forward of previous years. In his place was a player playing with conviction, shoulders square, eyes alive, voice louder. Every move carried intent, every drive had a message. For a team seeking new energy, Kuminga was the spark. But that spark would soon turn into fire. Late in the first half, Kuminga drove to the rim with power, absorbing contact, expecting a whistle that never came. Frustration exploded. Words flew toward veteran referee Rodney Mott, and within seconds, a technical foul became an ejection. The arena buzzed in disbelief. A preseason ejection? For a young player fighting for respect and minutes? It seemed disastrous. But for Steve Kerr, standing calmly on the sidelines, it wasn't a problem. It was a sign of life. "I loved the fire," Kerr said afterward. "I loved the passion. I kind of liked the ejection, actually. JK was terrific tonight." To most, that sounded strange, a coach praising a player who'd just been tossed from a meaningless October game. But to Kerr, the emotion mattered more than the minutes. He saw hunger, aggression, and confidence, qualities the Warriors desperately needed after a long, uncertain summer. Kuminga's stat line, 7 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists in just 18 minutes, barely hinted at his impact. It was the energy he brought that stood out. The way he crashed the glass, chased down loose balls, and sprinted in transition. His presence was loud, his purpose louder. "He got fouled," Kerr insisted. It was frustration. But he was right. He was getting hit, it was physical. The way he ran the floor, the way he rebounded, that's the JK who can really help our team. After the game, Kuminga's voice carried both humility and pride. "It means a lot," he said when told of his coach's words. "Knowing people have my back, that pushes me not to let them down. I just have to keep playing hard, keep competing every moment." Those words felt heavier than they sounded. Just months earlier, Kuminga's relationship with the organization had been fragile. His agent had publicly questioned Kerr's use of him. Trade rumors, tension, uncertainty, all of it hung in the air. But now, there was clarity. There was connection, reads a Lakers drive perfectly. He steps up, times it beautifully, block. The crowd erupts. That was the first moment Warriors fans realized. This wasn't just a signing. This was a statement. Horford only played 14 minutes, but every second mattered. 3 points. 4 rebounds. 3 assists. 3 blocks. A +13 rating, the best of any player on the floor. He didn't need to score much. His presence alone changed the way the team defended and moved the ball. When Horford was on the floor, Draymond could slide to his natural position at the 4. It gave the Warriors better spacing, better rim protection, and smarter rotations. On offense, Horford stood on the perimeter, dragging the Lakers' bigs out of the paint. That opened the lane for Curry to slice through, and once, they even connected beautifully. Horford handed off a pass to a cutting Steph, who twisted through contact and finished. It was subtle. But for Warriors fans, it was a glimpse of what's to come. At 37 years old, Curry is still the heartbeat of this franchise. He doesn't need to prove anything. But every time he steps on the court, he plays like someone who remembers what it felt like to be doubted. Against the Lakers, he was electric in short bursts. He scored efficiently, led fast breaks, and set the tone. Steve Kerr limited his minutes to around 15, enough to stay warm, not enough to risk fatigue. And that's the theme of this preseason: preservation over production. Kerr explained before the game that his goal isn't to win preseason matchups. It's to build chemistry. With Curry, Butler, and Green all in their mid to late 30s, load management isn't just a strategy, it's survival. And it's working. The veterans look fresh. The team looks balanced. And the system feels more fluid than it has in years. Kerr's philosophy has evolved. He knows the dynasty years, the 73-win season, the Durant era, the beautiful chaos of motion offense, are long gone. But the principles remain. Share the ball. Move without it. Defend together. He also knows this version of the Warriors must rely on experience. No team in the NBA has more combined playoff minutes among its top 5 players. That matters. In practices, Kerr has emphasized communication and spacing. Al Horford is often seen pulling younger players aside, explaining rotations, pointing out timing issues, mentoring. It's like having another coach on the floor. Kerr calls Horford's presence a massive voice for us. And he's right. Over the offseason, Moses Moody went viral for a hilarious reason. He was back home in Little Rock, Arkansas, playing pickup basketball at a local park. A few guys thought they recognized him and whispered, "Yo, is that Moses Moody from the Warriors?" But here's the twist: Moody was only using his left hand. He'd undergone thumb surgery on his right hand after tearing a ligament late last season. He was still recovering, but he couldn't stay away from the game. So he played left-handed. He airballed a few shots. And the guys watching said, "Nah, that's not him." Little did they know that was him. A real NBA player, playing with one hand, just because he missed the game that much. That story tells you everything about Moses Moody's heart. He's competitive. He's fearless. And now, fully healthy, he's looking to prove he belongs in the Warriors' future core. Inside the Warriors' facility, the mood is focused. Curry, Draymond, Klay, the core is still locked in. But there's a new sense of urgency. The team knows this window isn't open forever. Curry's turning 37 soon, yet his energy is unreal. Kerr has adjusted the playbook, integrating younger guys while keeping the vets sharp. You'll see more off-ball action. More screen manipulation. More trust in the bench unit, Moody, Kuminga, and Podziemski. And the new foul rules? They'll practice around them. Expect drills focusing on clean contests, proper hand placement, and safe closeouts. The Warriors are already planning how to weaponize these rule changes. Fans are buzzing. Some say the NBA just handed Curry another MVP season. Others argue the league is making it too easy for shooters. But the truth? Basketball evolves. And the league is always finding ways to protect its most skilled players, to make the game cleaner, safer, and more spectacular. And when Curry's shooting deep threes without worrying about a slap on the wrist, everyone wins. As the 2025-26 season begins, the Golden State Warriors find themselves at another turning point. They're older, but smarter. Experienced, but still hungry. And now, the rules themselves seem to favor their style of play. Stephen Curry has already changed basketball once. Now, he might do it again. Because when you protect the greatest shooter of all time, you might just unleash another Warriors revolution. The NBA offseason is always full of speculation, but this year, one name keeps popping up in the headlines for the Golden State Warriors: Bam Adebayo of the Miami Heat. Reports from Brett Siegel of Clutch Points suggest that if Adebayo ever requests a trade, the Warriors would be among the top teams interested in acquiring him. Why is Bam so intriguing to Golden State? His skill set mirrors that of Draymond Green but with an added scoring punch. He is a three-time All-Star with a versatile defensive game, capable of guarding multiple positions and anchoring the paint. Offensively, he can create his own shot, pass effectively, and stretch the floor. In short, he is the kind of player who could transform Golden State's championship window from great to nearly unstoppable. For fans,